Hello, friends. I'm Megan Baxter, social media strategist, digital marketing specialist, and we are here for another one. Today, we are going to be talking about why you need different types of content. This probably, from a title, doesn't sound super interesting, but it's not something that people are always thinking about. It's really easy to get into our routine and stuck in a rut almost. We do it in life, we do it in our relationships, and we also do it in our social media, which is why I think it's so important from time to time to talk about it. I talk about it often with my students, I talk about it often with my private clients, and I'm here right now so I can talk about it with you. You've got to make sure that your content isn't becoming accidentally stale. It's really good to mix and match a little bit. And sometimes I think novice marketers, particularly, they get hyper fixated on all of the noise out there telling them niche down, niche down, niche down, niche down. And a niche is great. A niche can bring you great success. It can really help you pinpoint who you're trying to help, who you're trying to serve, who you can best solve the problems for. Niches aren't bad, but when we're through this tunnel vision of niche and we get into a good routine and we get kind of confident in the confident that we're making the content that we're making, sometimes we forget that we're overlooking some things that could be helpful to us. We're overlooking some things that might attract more people to us, or we're overlooking some things that could ultimately lead us to be having higher conversion rates. And it's not so much that we set out and say, I'm only going to use two kinds of content. I don't think that anyone actually does that. I think it's just something that naturally occurs over time, which is why I always equate it to being very similar to just that routine rut that we all get into in every other area of our life. Your social media, especially your social media for your business, is not really different. So typically these series are focused on small business entrepreneurs trying to get their brand and their business that they're building out there using social media to provide a traffic source for their business. But this actually applies across the board, in my opinion. It applies to the small business owner, the entrepreneur with the startup, as well as the just content creator. You can just be trying to build your way to being an influencer or happy micro influencer. They make great money too. So it really is impactful for everyone to kind of bring this back to the front of your mind. I'm probably not going to tell you a whole lot that you've never heard anywhere before, but I think I'm going to bring a unique perspective to it. So, there are all kinds of content. There's engagement content, there's novelty content, there's curiosity content, there's sales content, there's inspirational content, motivational content, there's lead gen, there's all kinds of content, right? The list is literally endless. I could make a whole video just naming types of content. And then when you tack in all the different formats your content can come in, that list can go on and on and on. And quite frankly, can get overwhelming for anybody, especially when they're first starting out. But what I find, particularly, I see it a lot with novice marketers, but also with people who are just trying to get a presence built up on any platform, is they find something that works and then they never stray from it again, which if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, I'll grant you that one. I can hear somebody in the comments is going to be saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But are you accidentally closing doors of opportunity? If you stepped out of that one thing that worked that one time, could you possibly be attracting more people and more interest to what you're trying to build? My answer is yes. Yes, you could. So you want to make sure that you kind of every now and then self audit yourself. Take a look, go to your page with a fresh set of eyes, not as the creator, but as the viewer, and take a look. Am I falling into a rut? Is this all the same? Is this too mundane? Does everything look identical? Do I post the same thing at the same time every day? I just change the words on the graphic. Because if that's what's happening, you're likely accidentally missing opportunity of what you could really have the platform doing for you, no matter what platform you're using. Now, I will, because I'm always very transparent, say that this applies more heavily into platforms that use static content. So, Facebook, Instagram, and not as heavy, but still applicable in platforms that are more video based. So, TikTok, YouTube, right? Pinterest is kind of like a wild card because you can go either way. You can go all video, you can go all static, or you can do a happy mix match, healthy bit of both. So, main reasons, right? Because that's why I brought you here. That's why I brought you here today. I want to tell you the main reasons and get you thinking a little bit outside of the rut that you might be in. And if you're not in a rut right now, fantastic. You'll likely, human statistic probably, fall into one at some point. And I hope that my little voice pops up in the back of your head and is like, hey, how long has it been since you gave yourself a little content audit? Why don't you go take a little peek see over there and just make sure it's not getting too stale, right? Because that's the number one reason. The number one reason why you need to be using different types of content, different formats of content, different structures of content is because your audience will eventually get bored. We see this often. So let me describe what that looks like. When your audience is starting to get bored, you've had this rise, whatever the size of rise is. Maybe you jumped up a whole bunch of followers. Maybe all of a sudden you started getting more and more comments. Your engagement was higher. Your insights are trending up no matter what platform you're looking at them, right? You had this rise. Doesn't matter the size of your rise. Your rise doesn't have to be 1 million followers. Rising from 0 to 500 is a hell of a rise. Rising from 1,000 to 2 is a hell of a rise. Your first 10,000 followers is a really big deal. Celebrate it. Don't ever take that mindset like, oh, no, 1 million followers. It's no big deal. No, it is a big deal. And you are a big deal too, because I said so, if not for any other reason, right? But if you had your rise and it starts to dwindle, usually one of the driving factors for that is the audience that came along for the rise. They've seen what you got to offer. They've seen what you're showing them. They can't even differentiate at a quick glance the difference between your content today and your content last week and your content the month before that. So when they see you in the feed, their brain accidentally says, I already saw this, even if they didn't, right? And so they don't comment because they like, oh, I probably already commented. I think I already saw this. And they just go on by. Well, now that's harming your engagement, which in turn is harming your visibility, which in turn is harming the brand or presence you're trying to build. And ultimately, all of those in turn are what are affecting your bottom dollar, right? So that's the number one reason why it's super important. And honestly, I could end this video right here because I feel that that one reason is plenty of reason to take a minute every few weeks, scroll back through your page as a viewer, not as the creator, with a very open mind and ask yourself, are you bored with what you're looking at? If you are, your audience likely is too, right? The other reason is it'll allow you to speak to people at different steps in their journey. So let's say hypothetically you're in the wellness space and you have people who are pre-contemplative. That means they don't even know that there's a problem in their health yet. They're not even aware. They're not even aware. They don't know that their habits are good, bad, or indifferent. They're not thinking about it. It's not on their radar. But you've also got people that are watching you and watching your journey. They're contemplative. They haven't really spoken up yet, but they're like, oh man, I see her doing all this stuff. I'll start tomorrow. All right, Monday. I'll start on Monday. New Year's. New Year's. This is the last year. This is the last year. Next year, I get my shit together. Right. And that is very common. You have people like that that are somewhere in your audience. And then you've got the people that have already made the decision to take action and they're in it. Right. So you have people, no matter what industry you're in, I use wellness just as an example, but I can do one more real fast. Let's say you're in beauty. You're in beauty and you've got somebody that's watching you from the sidelines, watching you be confident, watching you get your self-esteem up higher, watching you grow, watching you glow. And they're like, oh, I want to be doing what she's doing. They haven't spoken up yet. And then you got the other people that are like, okay, I want to take control. I am not going to let growing older get the hold of me. I am still a desirable man or woman, doesn't matter, right? And they're like looking, watching, they're contemplating. They're like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So they're watching you. They're waiting for that thing to kind of grab out at them and take a hold of them so that they're like, that's the route that I'm going to go. They're looking, they're aware. They want to change something. They don't know what yet, but they want to change something. They got that itch to change. And then you've got people who are all in. They are looking for the fountain of youth. And they are going to do everything with the most high end products known to man and all of science to stay as youthful as possible, as long as possible. And God bless those people. I don't have the energy for that. I'm aging. I'm just trying to do it gracefully, right? See, it applies to literally every industry, every niche that you may be in. You've got people in your audience at all different points in their journey that relate to you and some different focal point of your journey. So if you're only talking to your people who have already decided to take action, well, you're doing a great job nurturing your customers, but you're losing the opportunity of the people that are yet to be your customers. And vice versa. If you're only focusing on the people who haven't decided the change they're going to make yet, then you're missing out on the people that are ready to change now. See how there's the shift in perspective when we think about our content, what a difference that can make in your business. I hope some major light bulbs are going off for you right now, right? It also can impact building genuine connections. If you're always the same and it always looks the same and it's a little mundane and it's kind of boring and there's nothing interesting, nothing new, nothing that kind of catches people a little bit off guard, it's like, oh, I've never seen her do that before. Then they start to feel like, is she a robot? Is this the real her? They start to doubt. And doubt in your audience will kill your dream faster than anything except for doubt within yourself. Doubt kills dreams, period. That is just the way of the world. We know that is true. I know that you know that this is true. While you're watching this video, you're nodding your head at that one. And rather you've experienced doubt in your audience or you've experienced doubt within yourself, or likely you've experienced both, you know that this is absolute truth. So you want to make sure that flare of you is shining through and you evolve and grow, and therefore your content should evolve and grow to reflect you evolving and growing, right? People love to come along for the journey. They love to be along for the ride, and they love to support and cheer for people who are working at growing and getting better. Reflect that outward. Let that be part of your content, right? And then the last one that I bring to the table, although I do feel that there are many more, is you're not utilizing everything the platforms can do for you and for your growing business or your vision or your presence or your following if you're not using all the ways the platform can help you, right? The platform can help you get in front of more people if you have more types of content. The platform can help you get in front of different genres of people if you have more types of content. That platform can help you align better with your more likely prospects if you are giving it more clues through your content. So across the board, no matter which way you spin it, no matter how long I dragged on this list, you need to make sure that you're using various types of content. Not always the same 2 types of posts you put in every day. Not a cycle of I do these 3 things, morning, noon, and night. In the morning, I put in a good morning. In the afternoon, I put in a quote. And in the evening, I put in a reel. That's not going to do it for long term. You can do that maintaining a page. You can do that if you're established. There are windows of time that I do that in my own Facebook business page. I'll be really busy building someplace else. I'll be really busy with my clients. I'll have a major course going on with my students. And I've got to just maintain the page because I don't want it to fall backwards. I'll do that exact routine. But then when I'm ready to scale again, I make sure that I come in and I'm mixing it up and I'm doing things a little different. And I change the aesthetic and I change how it looks. Not so much that it goes off brand, but just enough that it grabs people's attention and captivates them again. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, make sure that you subscribe so you can see the whole series, like it, leave a comment, tell me what was helpful, what was impactful, what was eye-opening for you, and I'll see you in the next one, friend.